friends, this is Carrie from Carrie's Culinary Crafts, where we talk all things food. And today is kicking off week 8 of the 2023 Three Rivers Freezer Pantry Challenge that we've been doing since the first of the year. We only have about 8 days left, I think, of the Freezer Pantry Challenge. So today we're going to kick off with, I am making fish and chips today. My son is home from school today for President's Day. So I figured I would go ahead and make the fish and chips. They were on the schedule for last week, but I didn't get a chance to make them. And my son really likes them with some homemade tartar sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. It is only morning time, so I'm not actually preparing the meal yet, but I am going to go ahead and do the tartar sauce just so it can be marinating in the refrigerator so those flavors can meld together. I know I've showed you guys how to do this, but it only takes a few minutes, so I'll just go ahead and record it again. And I do need to get out the haddock from the freezer. So I got several of these haddocks here. Let's see, how many is there? That looks like a double. Okay, so that's perfect. So there's like 6 nice pieces of fish here. So there's 3 of us, so that'll be good. And I'm gonna probably go ahead and make some homemade chips, fries as well. I'm gonna use the potatoes, and I'm gonna grab some seasoning packet that I have in the pantry that I want to use up. So I will go ahead and bake some homemade fries, as well as doing the fish. I'm going to do like a beer battered fish, so I'll bring you along with me for that, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. So I'm going to get this camera turned around and we will get started and put together some quick tartar sauce. Okay, so for my recipe today, I'm going to use some mayo. I've got some capers. Going to use some dill. I've got some sweet relish, pickle relish here. I've got 1 lonely lemon left that's looking pretty sad, but we'll get that used up. And we got some Frank's hot sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these up, and we'll get some tartar sauce going. Let's see. You know what? We have several pieces of fish here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of do a double batch instead of just a single batch, because all 3 of us use tartar sauce with our breaded fish. Let's see, more than that. Yeah, let's do a little bit of that. Oh, and I will need some grated onion too. Almost forgot about that. Normal, a regular recipe, you need 2 tablespoons. So I'm doubling this. So we will do 4 tablespoons. right. some dill. About a teaspoon. And just a couple splooshes of hot sauce. Okay, there's my lemon juice. Let's see, this is 1 tablespoon, but we're doubling it. So I will go ahead and do 2. There's only a wee little bit in there. Perhaps, let's see, how much is in there? Okay, not even another tablespoon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off this jar of capers. So there we go. Finished capers. You know what? That's a glass jar. I'm gonna save that. So it might be a bit much capers. We'll see once I taste it. If it is, then I'll just add a little bit more mayonnaise. Not a big deal. Capers are just pickled flower buds. So we'll get those in there. And the only other thing that we need is some minced onion in there. Fresh towel here. I am going to just cut the end off of here. And I'm just going to use the microplane and mince this onion in there. And how much do we need? Let's see, 1 tablespoon. So it would be 2 tablespoons. Okay, that looks like a good 2 tablespoons. And that is it. So we're going to go ahead, mix this up, give it a little taste test. Now we didn't put any salt or anything like that in it because there's a lot of pickled stuff in there. I mean, the relish is a sweet pickled relish, but the capers, and we added extra capers, are pickled. So I don't want to add any salt unless we absolutely need to. So we're going to taste it first, and then we'll decide if we need to add anything else in there. And yes, my tartar sauce is a little pink since I used a red onion, but that's okay. Okay, give this a little taste. Yep, that's good. Don't need any salt. The capers is really coming through on that. So we are good to go. And that's the tartar sauce, and I will bring you back later for getting together our beer batter, because I want to do the beer batter. You want to put it together for at least a half an hour before you're ready to go ahead and dip your fish and make it, so it gets like all nice and frothy and everything. So I'll bring you back when it's time to put together the beer batter, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the fridge. Okay friends, I'm back. We're gonna go ahead and get the fish and chips started. My appointment this afternoon ran a lot longer than expected, so I'm gonna take a shortcut. Instead of cutting my own fries, I'm gonna go ahead and use these potato wedges that are frozen from the freezer, and I'm gonna cook those up, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with getting my oil on the stove and get that heated up to 350 degrees. Okay, I'll get that on, and I'm gonna get my oil out. Now, usually whenever I'm deep frying, I like to use peanut oil. So that is what I use, and I will use it. I will strain it after every time I use it and reuse it for a few times. So this is probably my third or fourth time using it. It's getting pretty dark, so we'll see after after we do the fish this time if I'm going to go ahead and save it or if I'm going to stop at that point, because it is getting kind of dark. But we'll go ahead and get that heated up. Let me just, it still smells okay, but I think it's getting close. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna put that lid on. Potatoes going here. See these, I don't know if any of you guys have seen these, but they're just like wedges of potatoes, like what I was planning on doing. It's just, I don't have time right now to scrub them really good and then get them oiled and seasoned. This is just taking a few steps out of, for me having to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and get those put in the oven. And I will go ahead and put a timer on just so I remember to check them and see how they are doing. All right, now I need to go ahead and get my batter going. Okay, I need to find my beer. Okay, I'm gonna use Yingling Black and Tan Porter. I like to use, when I'm doing like beer battered fish and stuff like that, I do like to use a decent quality beer. Not that you have to, but I kind of prefer to. Okay, so we need some garlic powder, paprika, and flour. I need a cup of flour. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this out here. Let's put in some paprika and some garlic powder. We'll do smoked paprika and some onion powder. And put in some salt and pepper. Put quite a bit of garlic powder in. We love our garlic. Onion powder. I can't even tell if you guys can see this far or not. Okay. So I just add 1 egg. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some egg yolks on what looks to be a egg. That looks good. And we'll go ahead and give this a little mix. And then we're going to slowly add in our beer. Just add a little bit at a time. Yikes. Okay, so normally when I'm making this beer batter recipe, I like to let the beer batter sit for at least 30 minutes. It kind of like gets lighter, more airy because of the bubbles from the beer that's in there. I don't really have that convenience today. It's already 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna let it sit, but just sit until our oil is ready. And I will bring you back whenever the oil hits 350 degrees. Okay, so my oil is heated up. It's about 360. So I turned it down a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and pat dry my fish. Because you want your fish dry so it really soaks up the batter. This is really wet. Hey, that was folded in half. Look at that. These all are folded in half. I didn't realize that. Wow, that makes for some nice big pieces of fish. Interesting. I've never gotten fish that was like folded in half before. Okay, I'm gonna get another paper towel just because that was really, really wet. Turn that down a little more because I can see smoke starting to come up. Okay, and then I have a wire rack over here inside of a sheet pan with a paper towel underneath it. When I pull it out of the oil, you don't want to put it directly onto like newspaper or paper towels or anything like that because it will cause it to steam. So what I like to do is you put it on a rack and let any of that grease get off of your fish. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And we will go ahead and we're gonna do some dipping. Whew, that splash was hot. Now you don't want to overcrowd your pan, so I'll probably just put like 2 or 3 pieces in there, but let's get this fan on. Okay. Can you see down in there? My hands are all messy. Okay. You see like how quick that fish is frying up in that oil. Looks good. Let's try and get it flipped over because don't want anything to burn, especially before the fish is cooked. That's why as soon as you get within like 10 degrees of 350, you should start turning it down. By the time I tested it, it was already over 350. So I went ahead and turned it down and left it for a few so the oil could cool off, because you don't want to burn your outside and then your inside not be cooked. All right, and there we go. I think we are done. Because it's going to continue to cook a little bit. So we want to get it out of there so it doesn't burn. And I'm going to get these crunchies out too, because everybody, fights over the little crunchies. And when you as soon as you take stuff out of the fryer, that is when you want to salt it. Okay, so let's get round 2 in there. Okay. Now, did you guys see how quick and fast that was, getting this deep fried fish ahead and cooked? It was super, super fast. And you don't need to be afraid of deep frying. A lot of people are. They're concerned about the fat part of it. But one thing that you have to remember is when you put something into fat, you want it to sizzle and bubble immediately like this, because what that does is that instantly creates that hard coating on your fish, so it stops the oil from seeping into whatever it is you're cooking. And that is the secret to having a nice crispy crust on it. So anytime if you get something that is fried and it's really, really oily, that means that that oil was not hot enough when they put whatever it was in there, whether it's like French fries or whatever it was. If there's oil that comes off on your hands, then that oil was not quite ready before they put whatever it was that they were frying into it. go ahead and take these out of there. Doesn't that look beautiful? Ooh, almost lost it. But being as clean as this is, and we didn't have any burning, I may save it for one more use. Ooh. Because it's still pretty clear. And like I said, when I say fan, I always drain it. You always want to get those particles out of there because that is what causes the oil to go rancid. So once this cools off, I will go ahead and restrain this. And I will use it one more time because it looks really good actually. There is our beer battered fish. Okay, I'm just gonna test one of these just to see if it's done. Sorry guys, need to shift you. I want to try a big one. This is a thick one. If you never tried these seasoned wedges, I mean, I get them at Walmart. They're really, really good. They're kind of like your seasoned fries, but they're actual potato wedges. Yeah, they're done. They're like crunchy on the outside and really soft potatoes on the inside. Really good. And we have the homemade tartar sauce that I made earlier. I will bring you back for the final plate. Hi friends, it's Tuesday and second day of the week 8 of the 2023 Freezer Pantry Challenge. And today I'm gonna make one of my quick go-to meals. This is a favorite of ours, so I make it whether I'm in a hurry or whether I'm not in a hurry because it is a favorite of ours. And what I'm gonna be doing is a sheet pan meal today. And I have some here. I have some Italian chicken sausages. There's 6 of them there, so that's like a perfect serving for 3 of us. So I have that. I have in my freezer, I have some leftover, some bell peppers from last summer is in here. So I will probably be using about half of those. I won't be using all of them. And then I found an open bag of carrots in my freezer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as well. And some potatoes. So basically we're doing some sausages and roasted vegetables. All on one sheet pan, so it's easy cleanup. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is get the potatoes started. I'm gonna mix everything together because I'm gonna use a seasoning packet. I got this Mojito Lime seasoning packet, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. So I'm gonna mix everything all together so I can put this seasoning packet on everything so it has the same flavor profile. But I will be cooking the potatoes longer, so I'll be pulling out the potatoes and putting them on a sheet pan probably like 30 minutes prior to me putting the rest of the stuff on, because everything else basically Um, I want them heated up and flavored, but I don't really want them super soft. Like, I like a little bit of bite still in my carrots and peppers. So we will go ahead and start our potatoes first. So we're going to go ahead and mix everything together. I'm going to go ahead and give these potatoes that I'm using a really good scrub because I'm going to leave the skins on them. And so I'm going to scrub them really good and then slice them into like long fries, basically. That's a big potato. Okay, this will be more than enough potatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and get them scrubbed really good. I have my potato scrubber here. Okay, friends, so I have everything in here. I have sausages, I have onions, I have peppers, I have the carrots, and the potatoes are on the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the rest of my garlic confit in here as well. And I'm going to go ahead and use up the rest of these packets. There's about 10 here. That's probably will be fine. I'm just going to drizzle this over all of that and then sprinkle my mojito lime seasoning. Give it a nice good stir. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my potatoes on a sheet pan and get them in the oven. Hi friends, it is Wednesday during the 2023 Freezer Pantry Challenge, and today's dinner I am doing lime chicken orzo. Originally it was a lemon chicken orzo, but I used my lemon with a dinner that I did the other day, so I am going to go ahead and use some lime juice that I have. So I'm going to make it a lime chicken orzo. And I will link this recipe down below, but I will tell you what is in it so you have an idea. But if you want exact measurements, you can check out the link below. We have 1 small onion cut up. I have 1 pound. I was measuring it because I didn't know how much I would need. I'm actually doubling this recipe, and it only called for like a cup and a half. And I just wanted to see how much was in a 1 pound pack, and it's actually 2.5 cups, so it's not quite doubled, but close. But I'm going to go ahead and make it because it's fine if we have some leftovers, because weekends come in and we always need leftovers on the weekends. So I used a whole box, 1 pound box of orzo pasta. I have some garlic powder here. Now you don't need to use this if you're using fresh garlic. I'm using both just because I like it. It calls for fresh garlic, but if you don't have fresh garlic, you can use powdered garlic. Some evaporated milk, because this is going to be like a creamy sauce. Some chicken bouillon powder, or a chicken bouillon cube, or better than bouillon, whatever you have. I'm going to need 4 cups of chicken stock. So I had this in the fridge. I was going to make a a soup over the weekend, but I figured, hey, this is perfect. I could just use it in this because I need 4 cups of broth. And then this is just chicken pieces down here from whenever I Instant Potted the last chicken recipe. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this in there. Salt, pepper, cornstarch as a thickening agent. This is my lime juice. You need 1/4 cup. I have 1/2 cup here. And this is the spices that I'm going to be putting on the chicken. I am using 4 pounds of chicken. I think the recipe calls for 2 pounds of chicken. But this is salt, pepper, paprika. Was there anything else? No, I think that's it. Salt, pepper, and paprika. And this is what I'm going to coat the chicken with. And then I have a block of feta. And I have some mozzarella cheese. Okay, so that is what I need ingredient-wise. Now, what I did to go ahead and give myself a little head start on it, because I kind of got late starting dinner because I was busy today. But I went ahead and cooked the chicken in the Instant Pot, the chicken thighs. I'm using bone-in thighs. The actual recipe calls for chicken breasts, and you just cook them on here, and then they don't take that long. But since I was using bone-in thighs, I went ahead and cooked them in the Instant Pot. So I am just going to sear them in the pot just to get that the skin all nice and crispy, and then I'll take them out and then do the rest of the stuff and then add the chicken back in at the end. It's kind of like a 1-pot meal. I cut myself some time since I was running late to go ahead and cook it in the Instant Pot. So it is actually done. I'm going to go ahead and push the release valve on that, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put some olive oil in here and get this pan heated up so I can crisp up that skin and then pull it out and get the rest of everything together. So you need 2 tablespoons of olive oil in that pan, and I will bring you back once I get the chicken out of the Instant Pot and this is heated up. Okay guys, I've got the oil heated up, and here is my chicken that come out of the Instant Pot that I have cooked. And one other ingredient I forgot to tell you because I had it draining in the sink. This recipe calls for some fresh squash. I didn't have fresh, but I did have 2 small jars, 2 half-pint jars of pickled squash. So I kind of did what I did the other day with the cabbage. I went ahead and opened the jars, rinsed them really good underwater, and then I will cook them in the sauce and get rid of that acidity taste. Although I don't really think it'll matter much because there is lime juice in this, so there's going to be some lime flavoring. But I'm going to go ahead and get these in the pan skin side down. That's hot. Woo! Splattering everywhere. Surprisingly, I'm going to get these all in there. And I'm not really worried about crowding it because they are already cooked. I am just trying to get that skin cooked. Oh no, look at my tongs just broke on the top. Okay. So that is a chicken. Now I am going to go ahead and sprinkle. There's a couple whole pepper pans in there. Sprinkle this heavily on the top. And once I cook them, once the skin gets nice and crisp, then I will flip them over just for a moment and put the rest of the seasoning on top of the chicken. And then we will get that removed. We will get that removed from the pan, and then we will start throwing everything together. Alright, I guess I should have you angle down on that pot, shouldn't I? There's our chicken. Go ahead and flip them over. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the rest of the seasoning in there. Okay, let's get these flipped over and see how the other side is. Okay. Ooh, looking good, looking good. Okay. Now if you were using, like the recipe calls for chicken breasts as opposed to bone-in chicken thighs, the recipe says it takes 30 minutes from start to finish to cook. So if you guys are in that like 30-minute range where that's what you like to, that's like the max that you like to be, this would be a good one to try. And another nice thing, it's a one-pot meal, so those are always nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these chicken breasts out. Okay, how good does that look? Look at that. Okay, so we're going to set that aside so everything else is out or is ready, cooked and ready. So the first thing now that I need to put in here is you need to put in 2 tablespoons of butter. In my case, I'm doubling, so I'll need 4 tablespoons. I'm going to go ahead and put all of my herb butter in there. I believe my last half of herb butter, half a stick that I have, is in the refrigerator now. And that'll be the last of it, sadness. But the pantry challenge is almost over, so as much as I hate to buy herbs, when I grow all of my herbs, I will do it to get some herb butter going because it is that good, it's that worth it to me to always have herb butter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my onions. Let those cook until they're nice and soft. Now these are These onions were frozen because I no longer have any fresh onions left. So these were in my freezer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in my orzo. Now remember, mine is almost doubled. The normal recipe calls for 1.5 cups of orzo, but this is 2.5 cups. So I'm going to get that stirred in there. Instantly soaks up all of that liquid. So you want to go ahead and toast this for a couple minutes. That's been about 2 minutes. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in the squash. I'm going to add in a spoon of garlic. I'm not sure how much the recipe calls for, but a heaping tablespoon sounds good to me. Okay, so now we want to put in our evaporated milk, and our table cream, our crema. Give that a stir. And we will add in our chicken broth. Okay, now I went ahead and added 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and with the lime juice. I'm just going to give this a little whisk. Now that this cornstarch is dissolved, I'm going to go ahead and add this in here as well. Okay, now this part here, I just need to get this back up to a simmer, and then I'm going to simmer it until the orzo is done. So that could be anywhere between like 8 to 10 minutes. So I will bring you back at that point in time for the next step. Okay, there we go.